What's up, guys? This is Damien with Hash Online, and today we're going to do the review, the long-awaited review for the Samsung Galaxy Note 8.0. Kind of give you my impressions, what I'm feeling about the Note 8.0, and whether or not it's a good idea for you to go down and pick up your own Samsung Galaxy Note 8.0. Run to the latest Best Buy and spend $399 for this tablet. Yes, that's right, 16 gigs of internal memory for $399. So you better hope that you get a lot for your money. And in this review, we'll definitely get into the nitty-gritty, the full details of the Samsung Galaxy Note 8.0. So some quick specs on the Samsung Galaxy Note 8.0. It is running Samsung's Exynos 4412 processor. That's a quad core running at 1.6 gigahertz. Definitely won't see any slowdowns, any lag on the Galaxy Note 8.0. It also features 2 gigs of RAM. And as I mentioned earlier, there are 16 gigs of memory on the Samsung Galaxy Note 8.0, but that's also expandable because there's a micro SD slot on the tablet. There's a non-removable battery, but with the battery life that you get out of this 4600 milliamp hour battery, you won't be too disappointed with that. There's 5 megapixel rear facing camera and a 1.3 megapixel front facing camera. The screen is 1280 by 800, so right on the same level as the Asus Nexus 7. Although I would say the Note 8.0 has a display that's very much better than the Nexus 7, and I'm pretty sure you would agree. It's just more brighter, more vibrant than the Nexus 7, and it just all the way around is a better screen, even though spec wise they're the same as far as the resolution. So to begin with performance, the Galaxy Note 8.0 is a wonderful performer. You'll never see any type of lag, any type of stuttering. It's very smooth, very fluid, never runs out of power. Even if you were to root this thing, which I would definitely do, you wouldn't really need to increase the speed or overclock it, anything like that. This thing is plenty fast. You never have any performance issues out of the gate. So not really going to spend a lot of time on performance because everything is great. The 5 megapixel camera on the back, it's actually it's an okay camera if you have lighting. You don't feel as kind of abnormal holding the 8-inch tablet than you would a 10-inch tablet. So there's that, but there's also no flash, so that really limits the functionality of the camera. The thing you don't want to do is expect the same performance out of the cameras that you would get out of the Galaxy Note 2. It's definitely not on the same level, although it still is a pretty decent camera. Battery life on the Galaxy Note 8.0 is very respectable. I've used it for about 4 to 5 hours. Hardcore still was able to get a few more hours out of it. In standby mode, this thing will last days and days. Won't really spend a lot of time on the battery also because it's really not a factor. The battery is pretty decent. If you're really concerned about battery life, I don't think you'll have a problem with the Note 8.0. It's not appalling or something that's extraordinarily great or extraordinarily bad. So it's pretty average, maybe even just slightly above average. It is a 4600 milliamp hour battery, so it is what it is. Now if this was a 1080p display or one of these wild crazy displays such as the Nexus 10, then maybe that would affect it. But at a 1280 by 800, yeah, it's not really taxing that battery that much, although there is a lot of software crammed into the Samsung Galaxy Note 8.0. And that brings us to our next subject is software. There's so much software on Samsung devices. If you have owned any recent Samsung device, the Galaxy S3, the Note 2, any of the Note 10, any of the Galaxy series of whatever from Samsung, Samsung is all about software. That's one of the differentiating factors separating Samsung from any other Android manufacturer, any other manufacturer, period. The Samsung Galaxy Note 8.0 runs Android 4.1, but it, with all these software features that Samsung crams into it, we're not going to get into every single software feature. Wow, this would be a 30-minute video if we got into all the software features that are packed in here. But pretty much anything that you can expect from that was in the S3 or the Note 2 or the Note 10, you have it inside of the Note 8.0. And I would also very much expect all the software features, at least, that were available in the Samsung Galaxy S4. They'll be released pretty soon, maybe probably by the end of the summer for the Galaxy Note 8.0. It's a very fairly new device, and Samsung is usually pretty good with keeping up on their new flagship devices. Now, the number one reason that someone would pick up the any of the Note series devices is going to be the S Pen. The S Pen is a powerful Wacom digitizer pen. It's not just like a regular stylus you would purchase at a Target or Walmart. This thing is awesome, and I would say that the Note 8.0 has the best version of the S Pen to date. And that says a lot. The S Pen has really come a long way since the original Galaxy Note. And I find that if you are into the Note, or you're trying to draw, you're an artist, or you just take a lot of notes, then you won't be disappointed by the S Pen on the Galaxy Note 8.0. Now, this thing runs at $399. That's before tax for the 16 gigabyte version. I'm sorry, which is expensive. Now, paying $399 before tax for a tablet, you're definitely concerned about design, and I will say that it does look like an overall an oversized Note 2 or oversized Galaxy S4 or Galaxy S3, whatever. It just looks like an oversized version of that, which is up to you whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. It definitely is a stylish tablet, though, in all white. I really do like the design of this tablet. It looks it's more eye-catching than the Nexus 7. I would even say it's a lot more eye-catching than the iPad mini, both of which are its main competition. And when comparing the Samsung Galaxy Note 8.0 to the iPad mini, the Nexus 7, the things that I would say are in Samsung's favor are definitely performance-wise. It's better performing than the iPad mini and the Nexus 7. Looks-wise, it's definitely more of a looker than either one of those tablets. And also, really in functionality, because even though if you're not into the Note as far as the S Pen is concerned, there probably should be, because with the S Pen you're able to get a lot of productivity done with that S Pen that you wouldn't be able to replicate with just a generic stylus that you would purchase from any department store, electronics store, whatever. So far I know you're saying, oh wow, this thing is really a beast, because I haven't really said anything negative about the Galaxy Note 8.0, and that's going to change very soon. But before we get to that, I do want to talk about the book cover for the Note 8.0. The book cover case is the one that I have on right now, and it attaches to the back. Now, it's not like the Galaxy Note 2, whereas you take the back battery cover off, because this thing, remember, it doesn't have a removable battery, so you can't take the back off of it. This just slides over the whole entire device on the back, and then bam, you have the cover that flips out. Now, the flip cover does offer the magnetic turn on, turn off, sort of like an iPad with smart cases, but I find that it's not as strong. There's a few ways that you can use it as a stand, but it's not as strong as the cases for the iPad. Now, it's pretty good. It's definitely a lot better than some of the aftermarket ones that people make for any tablet, but it's not as great as the iPad one. You definitely, in certain situations, when there's one little funky configuration where you can fold it in the middle and it should hold up, it doesn't really work that great. But and on top of that, and this is going to go into this segues me into my biggest complaint with the Note 8.0. And what's that? My biggest complaint with the Note 8.0 is this thing is $399 freaking dollars, which is ridiculous. You can say what you want about the functionality of the S Pen, but I don't think it adds that much of a value. That you can get a Nexus 7 for about $249. You can get, and that's a 32 gig Nexus 7. You can get an iPad mini 16 gig for about $329. Really, if you look, you'll find it for about $299. This thing is $100 more than that. And remember the big hoopla everyone made when the iPad mini was released for $329? How everyone was saying that's such a big ripoff. Now, I wouldn't say this goes so far, because this is definitely as far as a technological standpoint, a better device than the iPad Mini. But is it that much more of a better device than the iPad Mini? I really doubt it, because if you're not really using the S Pen, any one of those tablets can do every single thing that the Galaxy Note 8.0 does. It really is overpriced. Samsung's really trying to follow Apple a little too much when it comes to pricing right now, and I think they should maybe rethink those things, because if this was at $299, I would say everyone in the world should have one of these. But at $399, this is really only if you absolutely need the functionality of the S Pen. Now, another thing that's a very big annoyance, and this is even with the price, as far as negative things that I think about the Galaxy Note 8.0, the button arrangement. These buttons get in the way so much, and I can guarantee you, if you're playing a game, if you're browsing the web, your hand will accidentally touch these buttons, and they are super responsive. One slight graze and you're pulling up the menu, or you're backing out of whatever you're playing. And I hope, hopefully in the rooting community, someone has a hack or something that allows you to turn these buttons off or do something, because it really does get super annoying. I mean, just imagine you're playing a game, you're deep into a game, and bam, you accidentally hit the back button and it takes you out of the game. It's super annoying, and I wouldn't say that it's going to happen eventually. This happens every single time I'm using this device. If I'm watching a movie, I hit the back button. If I am playing a game, I hit the back button or the menu button. If anything that you do, you're going to hit that button, and that is extremely annoying. They really should have focused more on the design and how that would be a problem in such a small form factor. I mean, this is only an 8-inch tablet. So to conclude this review, it all gets down to one point. Should you get the Samsung Galaxy Note 8.0 or not? I really can't recommend it, guys. It's a great tablet, don't get me wrong. It's a really good tablet. At any lower price point, I would definitely recommend this. But at $399, I really can't recommend this over an iPad Mini or a Nexus 7. Especially, the tech that's in here, it's not a 1080p display. It's not a 13 megapixel camera, not, some of the things that are coming out with all the new devices. So I really wouldn't say, unless you just absolutely need that S Pen, you're an artist or something, this is really the only thing that you could pick up. So that's the only way I would recommend this. So great device, overpriced, and they need to fix those buttons. Okay guys, so this completes our review of the Samsung Galaxy Note 8.0. Please give me the thumbs up if you like this video. Definitely subscribe if you haven't already. Also check out HoshOnline.com. We're doing a giveaway right now for the 11th. I think it's the 11th comment. But my name is Damien. This has been Hosh Online.